Brian, you and I really came together with a common belief that government and industry needs to collaborate better together. Over time, I feel like I've learned so many eye-opening insights from you about how federal government officials think, behave, and decide. And hopefully, I've been a little bit eye-opening to you on what occurs on the industry side. Sometimes millions of dollars that are spent on business development, capture management, resources, all the things that industry side plows in to try to position for a win. And honestly, I think we've both been kind of surprised by what we've learned in some cases from each other. But let me start by asking you, you were a federal official for 35 years. What possessed you to write a book about this? And, what major points would you share in terms of improving strategy for wins?
So I wrote the book just thinking that there are three things that I think are industry is really missing. Number one, what the rules are in terms of when they can engage industry.
Okay.
Number two, what they can do to increase their chances of getting a meeting with a federal official. And number three, what to do at the meeting.
Oh.
So that was kind of the backdrop of what really got me creatively thinking on how I could express some views to industry to really help them. And actually, the book, I think it really has helped. I wrote it in 2015 and still sell, a bunch of copies every month.
Still very relevant because those three things that you point out, gosh, that's tremendously helpful to industry to even begin to understand that.
Yeah.
It's such a mystery sometimes.
It is. And I think from an inside view, I think there needs to be education from the inside when they can meet with federal officials or when federal officials can meet with industry and vice versa when industry should meet with federal officials. And there's really no rules of the road that either follow, although there are some provisions in the FAR that actually lay out. It's FAR 15201, exchanges with industry before receipt of proposals, actually lays out the guidance in terms of when industry can and should meet with federal officials.
For our listeners and our viewers, can you give just a little synopsis? Like what is the rule of thumb?
Well, really, the FAR kind of pushes the boundary, and the FAR is just guidance, but it really pushes the boundary up to the release of the solicitation. You can meet with a federal official to talk about exchange of industry ideas.
Do you feel like contracting officials recognize this? And because a lot of times you'll sense that pushback. Do you feel like that they understand that, hey, all the way up until the time that this comes out, it's okay for me to take this meeting with industry?
Well, I don't think industry or the contracting community in general understand those rules and regulations. Now, the Office of Federal Procurement Policy has put out Mythbusters. And
yes, that's right.
And the several Mythbusters they put out, the whole goal was to try to break down some of those barriers.
Right, exactly.